Here we are going to do a quick live walkthrough of one of the projects we built a few years ago. We're coming back now, and what we did was we added to the slide a bigger flume in the slide, and we're eco-finishing that to finalize the slide. But we figured since we're here, it'd be worth kind of walking you through and showing you what the project is all about. So as we walk up to it again, this is one of those situations where elevation was an issue, and we had to build the pool up instead of drop it down because of some issues underground and groundwater and things. So what we did is we opted to keep the pool high so that it was fairly equal with the coming out of the patio coming out of the house, and then use that to our advantage by being able to build a bar. So now you can stand in the bar and in the pool at the same level. So that's kind of what you're seeing as we're walking up here, is the base level of the bar approaching the pool.
Take us to the bar.
Oh, well, let's go to the bar. So here we are at the bar. We created one step up so that the elevation was right to be able to stand in here and have the right elevation in the bar and then in the pool. Now the pool's been down for a few days as we're doing some renovation, so it's a little bit dirty, but you'll still get the feel, the look. It's a really, really cool design, cool project. But standing here in the bar now kind of allows us to interact with people in the pool, in the sun shelf, or that we have bar stools across the front here as well that they can sit in the pool. One of the additional interesting features here in this pool, well, there's several of them, but we did a little grotto, just a little waterfall grotto on the end there. You can sit behind the waterfall, but then there's an additional pool down low. The customer had said to me that they wanted a rock waterfall, they wanted a slide, they wanted all of these things that were going to be pretty difficult to produce here because of the elevation. The pool had to be built up, and if we went a normal 7-foot waterfall up from that to be able to build a slide, it would have looked like just a mountain in the backyard. So instead of doing that, we used the waterfall, the height and elevation to our advantage, built a waterfall up just enough to create the spillover, but then the slide, you climb to the top, we'll go over there in a few minutes, and the slide drops down to a pool, a lower pool down low. And again, to be able to use those elevations, we were able to do this upper pool, lower pool, and that's really just the catch basin for the slide. So why don't we walk around and we'll kind of get a sense of being here again along the bar, looking into the pool. And then walking up the steps to the slide. And this is what we're currently doing, is we're putting the final finish on the slide surface to make it slippery. So this is our slide, now sliding down to a lower pool. That's what's there. I'll show you the lower pool and equipment from the back, but here you get the general scope, an idea of what a project like this looks like.
This is the pool girl jumping in here. This particular shade of water is brought to us by a combination of iron in the source water, in the well water here, and a little bit of a hint of a high pH. So if you happen to be opening your pool and you're on a well and you have water this color, treating that with some fairy tabs will help knock that color right down, as well as bringing the alkalinity and the pH a little bit more in line. Would you like to show us the equipment pad here?
Sure. As we come on back here, show you the equipment is hiding behind the waterfall, and this will give you the sense of the elevation that the waterfall needed to be. Just to create that, we would have had to gone 4 or 5 feet higher to have created a slide into the upper pool. So instead, we dropped it down. So this is our filtration plant. We have 2 pumps, 2 filters, two completely different systems, an in-floor system on top, in-floor system on bottom, all had to be built up so that we could winterize it and valve each of the in-floor systems off separately. And then if we kind of walk past here, you can just kind of see all this stuff. And there's a mess of things happening down here for sure. And then from here, you can see the project from the backside.
So what is this blue box right here that I'm looking at?
So this is our Eco Finish applicator. What happens in Eco Finish is you have a powdered plastic that gets pneumatically pumped through a nozzle. As it comes out the nozzle, it's surrounded by a space of air and then a 3-foot propane flame. And as that powder is traveling through that air and with that flame on the outside, it heats and melts. And as it hits the surface, it melts and flashes to the surface of either a pool, fiberglass pool, or a concrete pool, and or the fiberglass steps for a vinyl liner pool. And what we use it for is we have concrete underneath, and we're currently spraying the slide. Now when a slide, what happens is there's 3 steps of shooting. The first step is called flocking, and that's just getting a heavy material into the epoxy. Let that set up. You hit it a second layer to build it up, and then the third one is mostly heat, and that's where it melts it flat. That's where we'll get the nice finish to be able to use as a slide. What we do on top of that is then we add an auto wax to help really make it slippery, and the homeowner can add wax once a month or so, and it'll keep it just super slick and slippery for the kids to play on. Now what we have down here is the lower pool, which we have basically empty just for us to be able to work and work on the slide here. But the upper pool flows over a waterfall in the middle to the lower pool. So we have a constant, basically negative edge pool where the water's flowing from the catch basin. In our case, it's a separate pool, back up to the upper pool, and then a circulation. You have water in motion, and a big thing for that is planning for water in motion. You're always losing water. If anything shuts off, you're always losing water over the overflow. So we're always having to compensate for that, and that's where things get a little tricky. For any of you that build negative edge pools, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this doesn't look like a negative edge pool, but it acts exactly the same as a negative edge pool. So there's that, and then we just continue around. We walk right back up to the top, and we're back up to the shallow end of the pool. Right up those steps.